Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The Nigerian army has confirmed that 15 people were killed after Boko Haram insurgents clashed with Nigerian soldiers near Maiduguri, capital of Borno State. The spokesman of the military at Operation Lafia Dole headquarters Maiduguri, Onyema Nwachukwu, who confirmed the death toll, said the insurgents were attempting to infiltrate the state capital through around Bileshua and Alikaranti, but were confronted by the military. Sadly, 15 persons, including a soldier, lost their lives, while 83 persons were injured. 6 terrorists and 7 suicide bombers were also killed by soldiers in the clash. 2 AK-47 rifles and 2 magazines were also recovered, while a 14-year-old suspected terrorist surrendered to the army. Colonel Nwachukwu also assured that the army is currently in pursuit of the insurgents. Meanwhile, a Nigerian government official has been explaining why the government decided to offer amnesty to the insurgents. Presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu has said the offer will help the insurgents to be useful to the nation. He also said the measure would help the government save costs by channeling funds used in the war against insurgency to other areas. President Muhammadu Buhari had made the amnesty offer while receiving freed Dapchi schoolgirls last month. Buhari had said the federal government was willing to accept the unconditional laying down of arms by repentant insurgents. Meanwhile, as part of efforts to find a lasting solution to the anti-insurgency campaign, Nigerian soldiers over the weekend conducted a show of force within Dikwa Emirate in Borno State. The show of force, which was led by Brigadier General John Ochai, is to show gains recorded by the army against the insurgents. The army had in the past year regained some territories once occupied by the insurgents, and last year launched Operation Deep Punch 2, which led to the capture of Sambisa Forest, one of the strongholds of the insurgents. The Nigerian government has released more names of individuals who allegedly looted the nation's treasury during the past administration. The revised list of 23 names, which was disclosed by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, in a press statement, comes just 2 days after the minister released 6 names of alleged looters. Mohammed said the list released earlier was based on verifiable facts, adding that those complaining that it was too short did not understand that the list was a teaser. The new list includes former ministers under the Goodluck Jonathan administration, including the Petroleum Resources Minister, Diezani Alison Madueke, former FCT Minister, Senator Bala Abdullahi, and former Minister of State for Finance, Bashir Yuguda, and a former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode. A former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, is also included, alongside former Security Chiefs retired Lieutenant General Kenneth Minima and Lieutenant General Azubuike Ihejirika, as well as Alex Bade, who is the former Chief of Defense Staff. Meanwhile, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, have urged the Nigerian government to immediately withdraw the list. The body, in a statement signed by its executive director, Adetokunbo Mumuni, advised the government to withdraw the alleged looters list and come up with a comprehensive list as ordered by a high court last year. According to SERAP, allowing the published looters list to stand will undermine the credibility of the government's claim to fight corruption and frustrate its often expressed goal of transparent governance. Israel has cancelled plans to deport migrants en masse to Africa after reaching a deal with the United Nations Refugee Agency. More than 16,000 asylum seekers will instead be resettled in unspecified Western countries, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said. The rest, about 18,000 people, according to Israeli media, will be given permanent residency in Israel. Israel's Supreme Court had blocked deportations meant to begin on Sunday. The Nigerian government has set up a committee to investigate the activities of data mining firm Cambridge Analytica during Nigeria's general election in 2007 and 2015. The committee is to find out if Cambridge Analytica worked for the People's Democratic Party in 2007 and 2015 elections campaign. Cambridge Analytica was alleged to have swiped the data of more than 50 million Facebook users to sway elections in many countries, including Nigeria, where it waged a campaign to hack into personal records of the then-leading opposition candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. Reports say the outcome of the committee report would determine if the government would appoint a special investigator and possibly commence criminal prosecution. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has demanded the extension of the probe into the Cambridge Analytica claim to cover the sources of the funds used by the All Progressives Congress for President Muhammadu Buhari's campaign in 2015. The opposition party, in a statement on Sunday by its spokesperson, Kola Ologbodiyan, said, while it welcomes an open investigation into the Cambridge Analytica saga, it believes the federal government is chasing shadows in their desperate plot to implicate the opposition in the allegations. The party also wants the inquest to be completely open and independent of government control. Still, on the opposition party, the PDP has dismissed the advice by the All Progressives Congress that it should learn from former Senate President Ibrahim Mantu's claims on how he rigged elections for the party. The APC had on Saturday called on the PDP to follow the example of Mantu, a PDP leader, and confess to its sins against Nigerians. In response, PDP National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbodiyan, in a statement on Sunday, said Mantu's reported claims are personal to him and has nothing to do with the PDP. They said the party has never directed any of its members to rig election on its behalf at any point since its formation. Nigerians.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so...
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
So we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, oh, my vote no go count now. Try vote first, maybe see whether it will count, you know.
Glad to have you back. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun says the federal government is reviewing requests by states and various individuals in the private sector to extend the deadline of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, VADES. VADES is a 9-month tax amnesty program created to allow various parties regularize their tax status. The deadline for the program expired on Saturday, March 31st. the ministry said tax evaders risk forfeiting their assets and prosecution. According to her, the government's data mining unit in the ministry, Project Lighthouse, has compiled data of taxpayers from land registries in the 36 states and Federal Capital Territory, as well as their bank accounts. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserve stood at $46.2 billion as of March 28, up by 8.8% from a month earlier. This is according to data from the central bank. Successful debt sales, including a Eurobond offering last month, has helped the government grow billions of dollars in foreign reserves, although they remain far from the peak of $64 billion in August 2008. The government raised 2.5 billion euros in Eurobond in February and expects more to follow. Nigeria's foreign exchange buffer has climbed by 53% since March 2017, when it stood at $30.30 billion. Oil prices rose on Monday, lifted by a drop in drilling activities in the U.S., as well as expectations that Washington would reintroduce sanctions against Iran. U.S. crude futures were at $65.20 a barrel, while Brent crude futures were at $69.78 a barrel, up by 44 cents. Oil prices have generally been supported by supply restraint led by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC and Russia, which started in 2017 in order to rein in oversupply and prop up prices. Despite this, Russian oil output rose in March to 10.97 million barrels per day in March, up from 10.95 million barrels per day in February. Moving on to the international scene now, Ethiopia's parliament swore in Abiy Ahmed as prime minister on Monday with a mandate to implement democratic reforms aimed at partly diffusing ethnic tension in the Oromia province, from which the former army lieutenant general hails. The ruling coalition picked Abiy last week to replace Haile Mariam Desalegn, who quit, clearing the way for reforms. Oromia, which surrounds the capital, Addis Ababa, has been rocked by violence since 2015. This is fueled largely by a sense among youth members of the Oromo ethnic group, which makes up roughly a third of Ethiopia's 100 million population, that they are politically and economically marginalized. Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun has commended boxing superstar Anthony Joshua for successfully defending his IBF heavyweight title on Saturday. Joshua retained his world heavyweight title after defeating New Zealand's Joseph Parker by a unanimous decision in the unification bout. He won on points 118 to 110, 118 to 110, and 119 to 109. The Nigerian-born British boxer now holds IBF heavyweight title, WBA heavyweight title, and WBO heavyweight title. He is expected to fight the Deontay Wilder for the WBC heavyweight title. Alan Pardew has stepped down from his role as head coach of West Bromwich Albion. The Englishman leaves the Midland club in 20th position after securing just one win in 18 matches. He was appointed in November to save the club from relegation, but has just gotten 8 points since then. Saturday's 2-1 defeat to Burnley was the club's 10th straight defeat. Rafael Nadal reclaimed top spot in the men's ATP rankings on Monday, a day after Swiss rival Roger Federer crashed out in Miami to American John Isner. Nadal, who hasn't hit a ball in anger since pulling out of the Australian Open quarterfinals in January, saw Federer take over top spots on February 18. The Swiss veteran, however, slipped 10 points behind his Spanish rival and into second place after a second-round defeat to Isner that saw the towering American leap 8 places to 9th, thanks to his eventual victory on Sunday in the Masters 1000 event. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.